The film opens with a girl named Ida, quietly washing her clothes inside a dimly lit washroom. The atmosphere feels uneasy, and suddenly she senses that someone is standing right behind her. A chilling fear runs down her spine. Gathering the courage, she slowly turns back, only to witness a horrifying sight. A terrifying, old witch-like figure stands there, staring at her with glowing red eyes. The moment Ida sees it, she lets out a piercing scream. Hearing her voice, her friends rush toward the washroom in panic. But when the door finally opens, they are left frozen. Ida stands there lifeless, as if her soul has been completely drained. She doesn't blink, she doesn't react. She just stands there like an empty body. The story then shifts to 2 days earlier. Ida is seen talking to her childhood friend Maya. Maya excitedly tells her about a hiking trip she is planning with her brother and cousins and invites Ida to join them. But Ida hesitates, worried that her mother might never allow her to go. As they talk, Ida runs her fingers through her hair, only to notice strands of hair coming loose and getting stuck in her hand. This deeply disturbs her, but she tries to ignore it and throws the hair away. The next day, Maya herself visits Ida's house to convince her mother. After some hesitation, Ida's mother finally agrees to send her on the trip. Relieved and happy, Ida walks Maya outside to see her off. But in that very moment, Maya notices something terrifying. A dark shadow standing right behind Ida with glowing red eyes. Fear instantly takes over Maya, and she hurriedly leaves the place. Confused, Ida turns around to see what Maya saw, but there is nothing there. This moment makes it clear that something dark and unnatural is already attached to Ida, silently affecting her mind and body. Soon, the group reaches their hiking destination. By the time they arrive, it is already night, so they decide to stay in a guest house nearby. As night falls, Ida suddenly begins to feel a sharp pain in her stomach. When she shares this with Maya, Maya suggests they should cancel the trip and go back home. But Ida refuses. She had struggled a lot to get permission, and she doesn't want to lose this once-in-a-lifetime chance over something small. Maya understands her feelings and doesn't push further. Later that night, Ida goes to the washroom to wash her clothes, and that's when she sees the same horrifying old ghost again. This is the exact moment we witnessed at the beginning of the film. After her scream, her friends rush in and find her in a lifeless state. They quickly bring her back to the room and try to get answers from her. Ida, still shaken, describes the creature. A tall, thin figure with white hair like an old woman and eyes glowing like red bulbs. When the guest house owner hears this description, fear spreads across her face. She reveals that years ago, a similar entity haunted this place and made life miserable for everyone. It took several rituals and efforts to get rid of it. But if the same entity has returned, it means danger has followed Ida here. Hearing this, panic spreads among the group. One of the boys suggests sending Ida back home immediately, but Maya refuses. She knows how important this trip is for Ida and how difficult it was for her to get permission. Reluctantly, everyone decides to stay for the night. The next morning, things seem normal. Ida wakes up full of excitement, as if nothing had happened the previous night. Seeing her cheerful mood, no one brings up the incident again. The group packs their bags and begins their trek into the mountains. As they move forward, Ida and Maya get completely lost in the breathtaking beauty of the surroundings. For a moment, everything feels peaceful. Ida even regrets not bringing her camera to capture these moments. Meanwhile, back at Ida's house, her mother is cleaning her room when she notices something disturbing. Clumps of hair and blood-stained tissues in the dustbin. Shocked and worried, she shows it to Ida's father. But he dismisses it, saying it's nothing serious and that they can take her to a doctor later. Back on the trek, Ida suddenly starts feeling extremely weak. Her breathing becomes heavy, and something about her eyes begins to change. She sits down, struggling to stay conscious. Seeing her condition, everyone panics. But when Maya softly calls her name, Ida suddenly snaps back to normal, as if nothing happened. They continue their journey and eventually stop halfway to rest. While everyone is busy eating, laughing, and enjoying the moment, Ida quietly gets up and walks away toward a nearby lake. Noticing this, Maya follows her and gently scolds her, reminding her that it's not safe to wander off alone in such a place. But the moment Ida turns toward her, Maya freezes in fear. Ida's hands have turned dark and unnaturally long, just like a witch. Her eyes have turned completely white, and with a disturbing smile on her face, she suddenly grabs Maya by the throat. Maya struggles to breathe as Ida tightens her grip. Her desperate screams echo through the mountains, alerting the others. The boys rush toward them, and with great difficulty, manage to free Maya from Ida's terrifying hold. As Maya watches in shock, she notices something even more terrifying. Standing silently in the middle of the lake is a tall, old entity dressed in white. Her long hair flows unnaturally, and her glowing red eyes stare directly toward them, the exact same eyes Ida had described earlier. Strangely, no one else can see this horrifying figure. It is visible only to Maya. The group quickly carries Ida back to their place and tries to bring her back to consciousness. After making her smell something strong, she slowly regains her senses. But when they question her about what just happened, Ida seems completely unaware. She doesn't remember anything at all. Maya, now deeply concerned, tells her that she might be possessed by a spirit. But instead of taking it seriously, Ida bursts into laughter. She mocks the idea, saying Maya must be watching too many movies, and insists that nothing like that can happen in real life. Her reaction only makes everyone more uneasy. Soon, the group begins arguing. Some want to stop the trek and go back, while others are unsure. But Ida suddenly gets angry and firmly declares that she will continue climbing. She says this might be her first and last chance, and she refuses to give it up. Her determination somehow motivates the group, and despite their fear, they decide to continue the hike. As they move further up the mountain, a strange feeling surrounds them. It feels as if someone is running around them in circles. Then, out of nowhere, they hear the eerie laughter of a child echoing through the area. Fear grips everyone, and once again, Maya is the only one who seems to notice the shadow behind it all. Still, she chooses to ignore it and keeps moving forward with the group. After walking a bit further, they come across an old man standing silently in their path. The moment they get close to him, a horrifying sound erupts, so loud and sharp that it makes their ears ring painfully. Everyone covers their ears, unable to bear it, and eventually they all collapse unconscious. When they regain consciousness, the old man is gone, as if he was never there. Now panic truly sets in. One of the boys starts blaming Ida, saying all these strange events are happening because of her. He suggests that something personal is affecting her and that she is attracting negative energies. His words anger Ida, but she chooses to ignore him, and the group continues climbing. However, not long after, Ida's condition starts worsening again. They make her sit down and give her water, but the moment she drinks it, something changes. Wrinkles begin to form on her forehead, her face starts distorting unnaturally, and her body becomes stiff. Her lips turn pale, and a strange smile spreads across her face, as if something else has taken control of her. The same boy again insists that they won't be able to continue if her condition stays like this. The moment he says that, Ida's body begins to shake violently. Then suddenly, she bursts into a horrifying laughter, a sound so terrifying that it echoes across the entire mountain. Everyone is completely shaken. Maya now realizes that this is not just physical. Ida's mental state is also unstable. She urges everyone to turn back immediately. But Ida, with her eyes now completely white, looks at them and says in a chilling voice, to go away. She declares that she will climb the mountain alone, because now, this mountain belongs to her. As she speaks, blood starts appearing in her eyes, making her look even more terrifying. Fear spreads among the group, and they instinctively step back. Maya finally understands the truth. The same entity she has been seeing all along has fully possessed Ida. Ida then warns them that she will kill anyone who tries to stop her. And without waiting for anyone, she starts climbing upward alone. The group watches helplessly as she disappears into the darkness. As Maya stands there in confusion, she once again sees the old woman from a distance, silently watching them. And once again, no one else can see her. It is at this moment that the truth is revealed. Maya has a special ability. She possesses spiritual insight, which allows her to see entities and supernatural beings that normal people cannot. This is why she has been the only one able to see these terrifying figures from the very beginning. Realizing the danger, Maya quickly tells everyone that they must go after Ida. They rush forward, and when they finally reach her, Maya runs to her and tries to stop her. Tears fill Maya's eyes, and surprisingly, Ida also begins to cry. Through her tears, Ida says that this trip means everything to her, that this moment could become the most important memory of her life, and she cannot leave it incomplete. Hearing this, Maya convinces the others to continue climbing. She suggests that maybe things will get better as they reach the top. Somehow, this gives everyone a bit of hope, and they decide to move forward again. As they climb higher, Ida's condition continues to worsen. Her body struggles, but she forces herself to keep moving. Finally, after a long and exhausting journey, they reach the peak, nearly 3,000 meters high. By now, it is night. The group sets up their camps and tries to rest, but as the night deepens, Ida's condition takes a terrifying turn again. Her body becomes stiff, as if something else has completely taken over. Within moments, she collapses to the ground, and her entire body starts shaking uncontrollably. Hearing her cries, everyone rushes out of their tents in panic. They are completely helpless, unable to understand what is happening to her. Realizing they need help, the group decides to go back down the mountain. After searching for some time, they finally come across a man living nearby, hoping he might be able to help them. The man arrives at the camp with the group and immediately senses that something is terribly wrong with Ida. Without wasting a moment, he leans closer and begins whispering something into her ear. The moment he does this, Ida's condition takes a horrifying turn. Her eyes turn completely black, the veins around her mouth become dark blue, and her body starts twisting unnaturally, as if her bones are about to snap from within. As her condition worsens, the man begins chanting louder, his voice growing more intense with every word. The atmosphere becomes tense, almost suffocating. But then suddenly, everything stops. Ida's body relaxes, her breathing returns to normal, and she becomes completely still. It feels as if whatever had taken control of her has finally left her body. At the same time, far away at home, Ida's mother is seen praying. In the middle of her prayer, she suddenly feels a strange presence, as if someone is watching her closely. She looks around, but there is no one there. When she shares this with her husband, he simply laughs it off, not taking her fear seriously. Back at the camp, night falls once again. While everyone is asleep, Ida suddenly wakes up, but something feels off. For a brief moment, her face transforms into that same terrifying entity, the one that has been haunting her all along. At the same time, Maya wakes up in fear, only to realize it was just a nightmare. But as she looks beside her, her fear returns. Ida is missing. Maya rushes outside to search for her and soon finds her standing alone. As she calls out to Ida, she slowly turns around, but her face no longer looks like her own. It is the same horrifying presence Maya had just seen in her dream. And in that moment, Maya realizes that her nightmare is not just a dream, it is happening in reality. Without wasting time, Maya slaps Ida lightly, trying to bring her back. After a moment, Ida regains her senses, and Maya quickly takes her back to the camp. Morning arrives, and the group decides it is finally time to return home. As they prepare to leave, Maya notices that Ida is missing again. She searches for her and finds her standing alone, lost in thought. Ida calmly tells Maya that she doesn't feel like leaving, that this mountain feels like home to her. She says she has never felt such peace before. Before leaving, Ida keeps staring at a large stone for a long time, quietly murmuring something under her breath. Maya feels uneasy but chooses not to question her. Soon, they all leave and begin their journey back. Surprisingly, the return journey is completely normal, and they finally reach their city. Maya's brother and cousins drop Ida at her house, but something feels off. Without even greeting her mother, Ida walks straight inside, ignoring everyone. Her mother senses that something is not right. As night falls, Ida's condition worsens again. Her body starts shivering uncontrollably, and she begins laughing like a mad person. Her laughter is so disturbing that it terrifies her mother. In panic, her mother calls a religious teacher from the mosque. He tries to help by reciting prayers over Ida, but nothing affects her. Left with no other option, her parents rush her to the hospital. But even there, her condition does not improve. The doctors are unable to understand what is wrong with her. No diagnosis, no treatment, nothing works. The next day, Maya and her brother come to visit Ida in the hospital. But instead of relief, they are met with anger. Ida's father blames Maya for everything. He accuses her of forcing Ida to go on the trekking trip, saying that his daughter was perfectly fine before that. He warns Maya that if she cannot fix this, he will go to the police. Hurt and helpless, Maya leaves the hospital. She knows she is not at fault, yet the guilt weighs heavily on her. Even at college, she remains distracted, constantly thinking about Ida. Meanwhile, at midnight in the hospital, Ida once again sees the same terrifying entity, the thin, tall, old witch with glowing eyes. The sight of it makes her condition worse again. The next morning, Maya returns to visit Ida, bringing breakfast with her. She sits beside her and talks for a long time. Ida opens up about everything she has been experiencing, the visions, the fear, the presence she keeps seeing. Maya listens carefully, but deep down, she wonders if all of this is just the result of Ida's unstable mental state. Later, Maya shares all of this with her friends at school. Everyone becomes worried, unable to understand what is truly happening to Ida. The next day, all the friends visit Ida together. They pray for her recovery, hoping she will soon return to normal. But during their conversation, something strange happens. Ida suddenly turns her head toward the door and starts staring intensely at something. She tells Maya that the entity has come back again, that it is standing right there. But when everyone looks toward the door, they see nothing. They try to calm her down, telling her there is no one there. But Ida cannot explain what she is seeing. As night falls once again, her condition takes a fatal turn. Her body begins shaking violently, her breathing becomes heavy, and suddenly, she starts vomiting blood. Within moments, her life slips away. Ida dies. The news of her sudden death spreads quickly, leaving her family and friends shattered. The entire neighborhood is in shock, unable to believe how everything ended so tragically. All of this had happened within just a few days. Just 3 or 4 days ago, Ida was completely fine, and now she was no longer among them. Time passed, but the pain did not fade. Months later, Maya was still unable to move on from the loss of her best friend. Among everyone, she was the one most deeply affected. One of the biggest reasons for her suffering was the guilt forced upon her. Ida's father had blamed Maya for everything, for the trip, for her condition, and even for her death. Those words stayed with Maya, haunting her every single day. She began seeing Ida in her dreams, again and again, as if her soul was still trying to reach out. One day, while lost in her thoughts, Maya recalls something important. On the day they left for the hiking trip, she had seen Ida's father secretly hand her a small bundle. He had told Ida to throw it into the lake in the mountains, and without questioning it, Ida had done exactly that. That very same lake, where Maya had seen the terrifying entity for the first time. This realization sends chills down Maya's spine. Something finally starts to connect. Without wasting time, she rushes to Ida's house the next morning and tells everything to Ida's mother. Shocked and confused, her mother immediately confronts her husband, asking him what exactly that bundle was. The truth slowly begins to unfold. It turns out that Ida's father had always forbidden anyone from entering a particular room in the house. But this time, filled with anger and desperation, Ida's mother goes inside that room. What she sees leaves her shattered. Ida's father is performing a strange ritual. He is practicing black magic. And with this, the real mystery is revealed. Ida's father had been struggling with a failing business. In his desperation, he started believing that someone had cast black magic on him. When he suspected one of his enemies, he decided to take revenge. He contacted a tantric, and with his help, he began performing dark rituals. The tantric had given him a cursed doll and instructed him to throw it far away from his house. That very day, when Ida's father returned home, he learned that Ida was leaving for the hiking trip. Without thinking twice, he handed the bundle to her and told her to throw it into the lake. He never stopped to think that the curse might not only harm his enemy, but could also destroy his own family. From that very moment, everything began to make sense. From the day those rituals started, Ida's condition had begun deteriorating. Her hair started falling, her body weakened, and her suffering only increased. The dark energy that was meant for someone else had turned back on them, and Ida became its victim. When Ida's mother learns the full truth, she breaks down in tears. She cries out in pain, accusing her husband of killing their own daughter. But even Ida's father is shattered. He falls to the ground, crying, saying that this was never his intention. He only wanted to save his family, to fix everything. He never imagined that his own actions would cost his daughter her life. In the end, he realizes that this is the punishment for what he had done. As time passes, life slowly begins to move forward. The pain remains, but people learn to live with it. One day, the same group of 6 friends decides to return to those mountains, this time in memory of Ida. As they walk through the familiar paths, memories begin to flood back, and at one particular spot, Maya sees something that makes her stop. A shadow. Ida's shadow. For a moment, it feels like she is still there. Maya softly begins to talk to her, as if she never left. It becomes clear that even after everything, Maya has not been able to forget Ida. And with this emotional moment, the story comes to an end.